I'd like to warmly congratulate Femmes Africa Solidarité, FAS, under the excellent leadership of Binti Diop on your 15th anniversary. It is quite a landmark to have served for 15 years in giving leadership in Africa on women, peace and security. I have been with you a few times, but before that you were doing such important work in difficult situations of conflict. But I do have very special memories of when we were together for the Sudanese Women's Forum on Darfur on a number of occasions. I have seen the work that you have done on plans of action under the Security Council Resolution 1325. First of all, with individual countries to help them to develop these plans of action, and then regionally in the Mano River and Central African countries, bringing Rwanda and Burundi and the Democratic Republic of Congo together. And at all times the work has been very empowering and very supportive, and maybe it's because it's been women, but there's been very little ego of individuals. It's really been to support the important work on peace and security. So many of us were there together at the International Symposium in Liberia, and once again Binta was acknowledged and FAS were acknowledged for the important work that you have been doing. And I know from my recent participation in GMAC events, the Gender is My Agenda network, the important role that FAS plays as one of the strongest members of GMAC, and the way in which you prepare and the way in which you enable others to sit on panels, but you're always there making sure that the meeting itself goes forward. So I just wanted to, in the first part of my address to you, to warmly congratulate FAS on all you've achieved and the way in which you have become such an important presence in Africa, most recently at the preparations and for the COP17 in Durban. And now I want to turn to the important subject of your conference itself, the 3 F's: food, fuel, finance, and the role of women. This is very much the climate justice agenda. While we were in Durban for the Conference of the Parties, my foundation, MRFCJ, was putting forward a strong support for the troika of women leaders. And I'm very glad that that was much more visible. And again, with Binta's help in particular, in showing that there is a huge gender dimension to climate change, and women must be in positions of leadership at grassroots, informing women who have access to leadership, who are ministers or even higher than ministers, and also leading the UN FCCC process. The whole area of food security is extraordinarily important. It is a priority of the May Robinson Foundation Climate Justice, and it is very much about food and fuel. And it's a good link with the 2 very important events which will be coming up early in 2012, where I hope to work closely with Binta Diop and FAS. First of all, the Commission on the Status of Women, looking at rural livelihoods and the extraordinary importance of women and of the way in which they are playing such an important role as agents for change. And then the Rio +20 meeting, which will have a focus on access to energy for all. Indeed, 2012 has been designated, as you know, by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon as the year of access to energy for all. And yet, at least 1.4 billion people have no access to electricity, and about 2.7 billion still cook using firewood or animal dung and ingest the fumes so that they and their children suffer. And of course, we know that that 2.7 billion is predominantly women. So there is a big task ahead, but I think your conference will provide very good practical examples, both of good practices and of problem areas, which can feed into the preparations for the Commission on the Status of Women and Rio +20. And I'm very sorry I can't be with you in person. I so enjoy these occasions. You can't dance from a video, but imagine when you're dancing later that I'm joining with you, because as you know, that's a part of the conversation that I enjoy very much, the conversation through dance. So again, I hope you have a very enjoyable and also a very fruitful conference. Je sais que vous êtes tous en Sénégal, alors je dis félicitations à tous et j'espère que ça va très bien pour la conférence et pour l'anniversaire, le 15e anniversaire de Femmes Africa Solidarité. Merci à tous.